What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Tiege pack. Tiege makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tiege Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tiege Hanley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tiege pack. Feel the Tiege, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Welcome to another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm your host, Anton Daniels. It is Thursday, March 21st, 2024, year of our Lord. How's my family and friends doing today? Let me get one word inside of the chat as far as telling me what's going on, what's happening with y'all. Respect. Shout out to everybody that tuned into the live stream last night. We had it popping. Don't you do that, Brittany. Don't you do that, Brittany. You know, I think I'm about to implement a segment of the show. I've been actually working on this for a while, but I haven't actually implemented it because I be having so much going on at the time. I think I'm about to implement a segment of the show where I stand up for the majority of it. I do have this standing desk, so it's no reason why I shouldn't stand. Just sitting down and just get a little bit monotonous. I know my chair is super comfortable for all of y'all that's trying to live stream or starting to create content. Get you a really comfortable chair. I'm waiting on my chairs to get delivered to the new space. I see Stoic, Growth, Good, Grateful, Pause. Last night's stream was the realest ever. Shout out to you. Determined, great. Exhilarated, says Will the CNA. Good morning. Working, says the Suns. Get a floating desk? What the heck is a floating desk? I don't know what a floating desk is. You got to give me some insight on that, Lester. Thankful, extraordinary, positive. Smart, says Richard Ringo. Focused. Counting money. I like that, Kojak. Shout out to Kojak. Coffee. Rich with joy. I'm still in my pandemic chair. Oh, no, you got to change that. Great. Good morning, Chasers above ground. That's every day is a good day above ground. Invested, humbled, incredible, activated. Raining bad in Houston this morning. Do y'all love Houston like that? Worthy, awesome. How are you feeling, Anton? I feel phenomenal. I feel incredible, man. I mean, every day above ground is a new opportunity to win. Every day above ground is a new opportunity. How many people in the chat actually love Houston? Because I know we got a lot of Texans in here. I haven't actually checked in with where y'all at and where y'all currently rocking out with. But how many of y'all actually like Houston? Do y'all like Houston like that? Man, every time I go to Houston, I'm just like, it's not that it's a bad city. It's more like me trying to figure out what's so phenomenal about Houston. Can somebody in the chat explain to me? Shout out to Island Styley. Can somebody in the chat, you getting married Saturday, King David? Shout out to King David. Let me get a round of applause. Reese Monique says, I've been in Houston for over a year. Y'all can have NY. I love Houston. She says she loved Houston. I went to Houston recently. It was dope. Bad roads, though. Never been. Shout out to my Texas family. Top of the morning. Shout out to Charles Pratt. I appreciate you. Cypress, Texas is a suburb of Houston. Brittany says Houston is okay, but better because Azriel is there. That's a fact, though. Too much traffic in DSW. I'm in the burbs, though. Oh, you in the burbs. You ain't even in Houston. You're not even in Houston. Azriel says, I love it enough to live here. Born and raised. Love it. 6 months. I love it. 6 months in, I was done with that punk A snow in Cleveland, plus the Southern hospitality. Y'all get Southern hospitality in Houston? Most of the people in Houston is not even from Houston. A lot of people in Houston is actually from Louisiana. A lot of people over in Texas is from Louisiana, and they never left because after Katrina, they just became Houstonites. I don't know, man. I mean, actually, I like Dallas better. I love Dallas. Lady Lina says Houston is straight, but it's changed a lot. Texas native. Traffic is horrible, though. I'm working Bel Air, Houston. I remote 3 days a week. Ghetto. Cyprus is beautiful. So many gorgeous women, and they fit too. Southern hospitality here. Me and my wife might be moving to Houston. Might move to Sugarland. Really? Okay. Well, listen. Love it here. Food and diversity, 7 years from Dallas. That's a fact, but it ain't Louisiana. There are a lot of transplants, but don't get it twisted. They say barbecue is a cannibal. Houston has the best seafood I've ever had. Traffic is wild, and H-Town says our streets. Okay. Well, listen. If Houston is where it's at, God bless y'all. I guess I'm going to have to make a fourth or fifth trip to Houston just to see it again. Y'all got to sell me on Houston. Man, let me tell you something, bro. Houston, my experience in Houston is a lot like Atlanta. Traffic-wise, the people there. I don't even think that people in Houston is really... Me too, Molly. I think Dallas is better than Houston. I don't think that the people in Houston even really be outside in Houston. You see what I'm saying? I don't believe, because most people that live in a certain city, they not engulfed in the city. Even the people here in the city in Detroit. A lot of people in Detroit still don't even know how to get downtown or how to get around downtown, and they've been living here their whole life. Most people, if you go to a city and you just encourage somebody at a gas station, I remember the first time that I went to Pittsburgh, and I stopped right there, right when I got into Pittsburgh, and I'm like, yeah. And I was getting gas, and it was like, oh, yeah, you visiting from here? The guy that was behind the counter, he was like, you visiting from here? I said, yeah, I'm visiting from here. He said, what you doing in Pittsburgh? I said, I'm just coming to visit. He was like, why would you come to visit Pittsburgh? Ain't nothing here. Then I get in Pittsburgh, and they turned up, and it's lit and fun stuff and a bunch of bridges and festivals and money and art scenes and all kind of stuff. We up there dancing and stuff. It was so much to do. I would say that most people that are in whatever city that they in, and it's not just Houston, it's not everywhere. Most people that's in whatever city that they're in, they don't really even experience the city. They may stay in a little cove, they little hidden hideout. They live in the suburbs. They're not even immersed in the city. They don't really know what's going on. They don't get outside. They don't really participate. I don't believe that most people that are in these cities that say that they love these cities are even really in those cities. I don't. I genuinely don't. I think that people just say that they love it just because they're from there.
I don't think that most people are actually immersed in the culture of whatever city that they say that they're in. Because when I was in Houston, it was just like Atlanta. And I mean, I know a lot of people like Atlanta, but then when I was in Atlanta and I was walking around in downtown Atlanta and I went to all of the different spots in Atlanta, you know what I seen? A whole bunch of homelessness. They be in the house and at work, sons. So, anyways, listen, thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all for continuing to rock out. Y'all ready to get into the show? First and foremost, let me acknowledge the early Cash Appers, because I appreciate the people that support the platform, and I never asked for it, but I always want to acknowledge the people that hold me down out here in these streets. Shout out to Mike, that dude. Says my Rumble shares is looking good. Shout out to Stock Club. Shout out to Mike, that dude. I appreciate you, big dog, for holding me down. You are absolutely one of the most consistent people I've ever seen in my entire life. Charles Pride is in the building, says for keeping us focused and leaving us with a purpose. Shout out to Charles Pride. I see you, big dog. I appreciate you, big dog. Frank White is in the building, says salute. Salute. Shout out to Frank White. I appreciate you. Also want to acknowledge my early super chatter in the building. Latrell just came through and dropped off that 2-ball. I love it. Thank you, Latrell. You are absolutely appreciated. Let's go ahead and get into the show. First and foremost, I want to acknowledge Tiege Hanley. Tiege Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. I know if y'all listening to my voice, you're saying, Anton, your voice is a little bit out. It's because I be at the basketball games and I be yelling, yo, I can't believe it. Arguing back and forth with the players. Halliburton that's a good dude. He a genuinely good dude. I got a lot of good things to say about everybody on the Indianapolis Pacers basketball team. Every single player on that team had good energy. We argued, we fought, and in the end, they wiped us out and they absolutely destroyed us, and they had good energy. But shout out to all of those boys over there. Shout out to Rick Carlisle. He said, man, I'm so glad that you came to the game because you got our boys fired up. But all of the rest of the coaching staff, a lot of them other dudes, it was one black guy. Man, let me look up the Houston coaching staff because I said that I was going to put these dudes on blast. Give me a second. We're going to get started with the show really quickly. I'm sorry, not the Houston. Indiana. Staff. Indiana Pacers. Let me find the dude. Give me a second. It's one guy in particular. Rick Carlisle is that guy. Let me just say that, bro. Rick Carlisle is that guy. Real talk. I got so much respect. He had good energy. He made sure that he told the different people that was in there, hey man, leave this guy alone. He good energy. He good peoples. When the security tried to come up and be brolic, yep. Shout out to Rick Carlisle. Let me see the staff. Give me a second. I know they had that woman out there, the woman coaching staff. Give me a seat. She didn't say nothing negative, so I'm gonna give her some respect. Lloyd Pierce. I'm going to individually select these guys to see what kind of energy that they got. Because, you know, they don't really, nope, not him. He was cool. He wasn't one. Let me see, Mike Weiner. Told these dudes I was going to do a show on them. Nope, Mike is cool. I have nothing bad to say about Mike. Gennaro Pargo. Let me look at him. Gennaro Pargo. Pargo, a former player. Big talk. Let me put him on blast. I talked about his hairline the whole night. This guy right here. Oh, let me get him up on the screen. This guy right here had a lot of talk. Listen, I'm not impressed, big dog. I remember your playing career. Your beard was in struggle mode last night. You had a lot to say. Your teeth was yellow. And I told you that I was going to come back and talk about you. Who else? Nah, he was talking big junk. Big junk yesterday. Pargo. Who else? I'm going to do a whole show on y'all tonight. Give me a second. It was one that was built just like Shrek. I got to find him. It was one that was built just like Shrek yesterday. It wasn't him. I want to make sure. I don't want to get the wrong guy. I got to find him, though. Nope, it wasn't him. Wasn't the white guy. I'm going to go through the whole staff. Don't worry. Nope, wasn't him. I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. Yep. I'm going to get there. Don't worry. I have not scheduled for you to be brought to the front of the congregation today on the Millionaire Morning Show, but I definitely will be addressing y'all shortly. I told you. I warned you. But you wanted to talk. You wanted to do all of this. Okay, I got you. Nothing new here. We gonna get there. We definitely gonna get there. I'm gonna get to you, but not today. Not today. Today, we got to go about talking about that Tiege Hanley 30% off your order plus a free gift. Lots of free gifts in the building. If y'all have not got y'all Tiege, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Story time is going to be tonight. We're going to do after hours. In addition to that, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. I know he used to be married to one of the basketball wives. Oh, listen, I'm going to get there. Don't worry. See, they didn't know what they didn't know, but we going to definitely get there. Tay, welcome to the show. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We going to get there. After hours is going to be lit tonight. Make sure y'all tune in to after hours because Thursdays is mine. In addition to that, if y'all have not tapped into the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Bag Chasers, we up. Bag Chasers, we up. All right, let's go ahead and get into the show. Quick hits, y'all. Quick hits is a segment of the show that we absolutely positively love to bring people to the front of the congregation and make sure that we keep you guys informed on what's happening with the news all across the United States of America and sometimes even internationally. But today, we got a few people that we got to bring forth. First and foremost, Chicago. Y'all got to stop this gun violence. How does a city with some of the most stringent gun laws have so much violence? And it seems like almost every single day there's a different woman in the news that is being killed or eliminated or murdered. Take a look.
Tonight with an update on a story we have been following all day. We have learned that the woman shot and killed in Orland Park earlier was a mother of three who worked as a mail carrier in Chicago.
WGN's Jewel Hillary meeting the woman's family tonight and joins us live with this tragic story. Jewel.
Hi, good evening, Micah and Ray. 28-year-old Michelle Williams was fun, caring, and supportive, according to her family members. They say she was hardworking and she worked across the street from us at the post office here on Dearborn and Ohio downtown. Tonight, Michelle's loved ones say they are devastated by her death and searching for answers.
They broke this family. They broke this family and they broke us in a real bad way.
On Wednesday night, loved ones gathered on the south side to remember 28-year-old Michelle Williams, who leaves behind a large family, including 3 children. Her loved ones describe Michelle as family-oriented, positive, and giving.
She's the babysitter of the family. Every weekend she had a house full of kids.
Loved ones say that Michelle, affectionately known as Precious, worked as a mail carrier for the last 2 years.
She worked hard, and more importantly, her kids were the most important things to her.
Family members say Michelle left her South Side home around 11:30 Tuesday night and was expected to come right back home, but she didn't. Shortly after midnight, Orland Park police responded to shots fired near 170th and Rosebud Lane. When they arrived, they found Michelle dead inside of a car that was not hers, according to family.
We're still looking for answers. Right now, we're clueless of actually what's happening and what happened. So,
If anybody on this God's given earth could have a grandchild like Michelle, they was truly blessed by God.
Now, the family says they are planning a balloon release tomorrow at 6 p.m. in Michelet's honor in Orland Park.
Listen. Let's mine out the details. First, let's give some acknowledgement to the family, because I don't believe that anybody that is working, taking care of their children, I don't care if you're a single mother, I don't care if you're in a relationship, let me give some acknowledgement and say that nobody deserves to just be killed. Nobody deserves to just be killed. Like, yo, you get one shot, man. It's just, that's it. You here today, you going tomorrow, and that's why I'm very, very careful and I keep my head on a swivel, because it only takes one thing, one situation to make sure that you then mess up everybody, and then everybody trying to figure out where the kids is going, right? But listen, ladies, it's two things that I want to mine out and that I want to communicate to you as a result of this, right? Number one, stay out these streets, man. Stay out the streets. Ain't nothing for you out here past 11 p.m. You left the house. You was coming right back. I get it. And again, I'm never going to victim shame, but stay out these streets, man. And then they said that she was found dead in a car that wasn't even hers. We know most of the time what that is. We know what that, come on, man. Come on. We know what that is. You found dead in a car that wasn't yours, possibly dealing with somebody that you wasn't supposed to be dealing with in the first place. And again, nobody deserves to have their life taken away from them and anything like that just because or for whatever reason, especially considering that you was a hardworking adult. And I don't care what if you had a baby daddy or anything like that, whatever, man. But listen, bro, get in the house. Get in the house. It ain't safe. I don't know how many more stories that I got to show y'all that it's not safe for y'all out here in these streets. It already ain't safe in the shack. All right. Keep thinking it's sweet out here. Man, condolences to the family. I hope everything works out. Broward teachers, 2 of them, bag to bag. What's in the water at Florida besides gators? Bag to bag. Apparently both of them was arrested for things that had to do with kids. What's going on down there, y'all?
Now to a safety alert. 2 Broward teachers arrested and charged, accused of crossing the line with students. The schools where the inappropriate behavior happened just miles away from each other.
CBS News Miami's Ted Scott joins us live from Hollywood with the disturbing details. Ted.
Yeah, Jim and Lauren, those details are very disturbing. In fact, some of them too graphic for TV. Now, while these are 2 separate, unrelated cases, one thing each of them has in common is you have a teacher accused of breaking a sacred trust.
I think it's a great school. It's this terrible thing happened.
Students at Chaminade Madonna stunned to learn that teacher Boris Bastidas, last year's Educator of the Year, was arrested, accused of having sex with a 15-year-old student.
We're going to pick ourselves back up. We're going to fix the situation. And I get it's a big deal, but we're going to get past this.
The FBI uncovered messages on school and private email where Bastidas reportedly said, "I'm crazy about you." Later, things turning more to a sexual nature. He's accused of messaging, "I'm going to truly corrupt you, and I want us to make love. I want to make our love physical." The FBI said he had sex with the girl in nearby parking lots and on a school trip.
He was a great teacher, so I didn't expect this.
The school released a brief statement saying, "When we were made aware of the allegations, we had a formal investigation and he was immediately terminated." A few miles away at Driftwood Middle School, also in Hollywood, teacher Felicia Smith was arrested. She's accused of an inappropriate relationship with a female student that involved kissing and fondling at the school.
Your trust goes in the air. Imagine, it's your kid that is in there. It could have been anyone, any kid. It could have happened to anyone.
According to police, the victim's family noticed a mark on the girl's cheek. Another mark was discovered on her neck.
The markings that were on the body were originally thought to be a bruising of some sort, but through the further investigation, they were able to identify that it was from kissing, and it did look like a hickey on the student.
Jesus Christ.
Now, Smith is being held in the Broward County Jail on $150,000 bond. As for Bastidas, he was arrested by the FBI this morning. He's due in federal court in Fort Lauderdale.
And you threw it all away, big dog. You went from Teacher of the Year to Molester of the Year. You threw it all away, bro. And then the woman, hold on. Both of them are horrible. I don't even know which one that you can say is worse. Is it the guy that's worse? Well, it got to be the guy. I'm just going to be absolutely honest. When you start paying attention to but then again, I can't say that it's not worse on the girl because she was dealing with a middle schooler. The girl is dealing with a middle schooler putting hickeys on her neck, and ain't no telling what's happening behind the scenes because that's just the part that they discovered before they start really getting into the investigation. And then the guy, he over here taking field trips and busting chicks and busting a 15-year-old down on a field trip and in a car. You disgust me. Disgust me. Now y'all both gonna be on a sex offenders list. Who want to shoot a fade with me? Nah, I haven't seen the video. What's his name? Tim, what's his name? Tell me about the guy, whoever on the internet that wanna pull up and shoot a fade. I'm curious. I have not seen any videos. I do not be on the internet past whatever it is that I'm streaming or whatever videos that I upload. So I'm not familiar. You're gonna have to familiarize this person with me because hold on. Before we get into this next story, do we consider this weird? Now I ain't talking about this no more. I'm gonna go to the next story. Let me spin the block and go to the next story. Before we get into the next part of Quick Hits, do y'all consider it weird that somebody that has never ever met you before or has never seen you before want to shoot a fade with you? Somebody that I've never ever met in my entire life. So you telling me it's some random dirtbag on the internet that got a YouTube platform that said that they want to shoot a fade? Watch this video, Anton. Okay, I'll pull it up in a minute. What's the name of it? Watch this video, Anton Stupid Daniels. All right, I'll deal with it. We'll get to it. And last but not least, casino employees over in Pittsburgh was obviously or apparently rigging casino games.
2 employees at Rivers Casino are facing charges for allegedly rigging games, and investigators say at least 2 players were in on the conspiracy. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Christine Sorensen.
And I'm Erica Stanish in for Ken tonight. And as Chris Hoffman reports, the alleged conspirators fleeced thousands from the casino.
According to state police, in all, this scheme between the dealers and at least 2 players racked up more than $10,000 taken from the casino. Over the weekend, state police charged River Casino employees 34-year-old Robin Snepp, 40-year-old Anthony Lausch, and player 43-year-old Jack Daniel Murphy III with several charges related to rigging table games. Investigators say Snepp worked at the video roulette table. She allegedly would spin the ball in a way that it wouldn't set off the sensors, allowing players to continue betting even after a number hit. Her supervisor, Lausch, would allegedly override the error.
Instead of just voiding all plays, which should have happened, he, as a supervisor, was able to use his electronic fob on the machine and verify the number that was hit.
Troopers say Mars III and this lady, who they are trying to identify, were part of this scheme and made off with almost $11,000 through this rigging.
There comes that conversation of, I was just there playing, but that really deep investigational effort showcased that these 2 players knew what they were doing in the aired state, and they were part of the plan.
Investigators learned of this through an anonymous letter earlier this year. They found multiple occasions of this happening since December.
So then they tell their counterparts to come in and bet when the sensors are not hitting.
With Lausch and Snepp having been at the casino for almost 15 years, they are doing a deeper dive now.
This can continue on if we find out more players who knew how to manipulate that arid state of the roulette table.
Police are still looking for Mars III. The casino says they are cooperating fully with the investigation.
You're going to see a complete overhaul of how that machine works at the Rivers Casino. That has already been in place since these charges were filed over the weekend.
Both were released on bail and have a preliminary hearing scheduled for April 2nd. In Moon Township, Chris Hoffman, KDKA TV News.
And that's unfortunate because now
He would spin the ball in a way that it wouldn't set off the.
Now, Messi, ain't nobody thinking about these people. Now, they are wanted for what, $11,000? $10,000? They only made a few thousand or a few dollars each, and now they got the whole casino and they want it, and they gonna catch a felony, and they don't play no games on that. Look, man, I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. Crime is not worth it. Putting your job on the line for a couple $1,000s? Come on, man, this is so stupid. This is so dumb. I'm not even gonna entertain anybody that I don't know saying that they want to shoot a fade. I'm 41 years old, bro. I'm too old for the nonsense. I'm too sexy. I'm too gorgeous. I am so gorgeous in real life. Let this be a lesson. People that want your attention and will do anything for your attention, just let them crash out. Let them crash out. And ladies and gentlemen, that is your quick hits. Let me read a few more super chats before we get started with the show. I'm not even going to acknowledge that. I ain't even paying attention to that. We're going to continue to move. Carl Smith, broke people always want to fight. Carl Smith says, the truth hurts. Last night's show was amazing. Thank you for your continuing efforts to change the culture of our people. There is hope. You are good news. You are the good news that we need. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Somebody said, is Anton a millennial? I am what you call a geriatric millennial. That's what they call us. We right there at the edge of it, technically. Shout out to Carl Smith. Thank you. I appreciate you. David Williams says, on Stock Club, can you go over how to evaluate a company's IPO and an initial public offering? Absolutely. We can go over it because I know that Reddit is doing an initial public offering and they valued at what, $8 billion, $6 billion? I don't know. Yeah, I'll go over that. We can go over IPOs. I definitely put that on the agenda. We could talk about it. Jeremy H says, AD, I work for the feds. Woo! I need the feds on my team. I work for the feds. And this is a nationwide crisis with mail carriers being robbed and killed. Dallas, Texas Post Office Union did a rally about it. You telling me it ain't even safe to be work at the post office? Come on, man. This is crazy. Y'all can't even do their jobs now and deliver people's mail? See, this is why robots is going to be coming. Ari Reed says, Anton, thank you for the inspiration, the books, the words, the knowledge. I'm ready to make money when you are. Blessings to you and your family. Shout out to Ari. I love my girl Ari. Shout out to my family, my extended family out here. Kung Fu Hustler is in the building, says, I'm not the only one getting hounded by thought demons I see. A chief one is trying to get me to crash out right now. These teachers is wildin' though. Hey, man, y'all better make sure that y'all stay about it. Y'all stay about it. Don't crash out. Don't get confused. Shout out to More Than Mellow. I love you. I love you. McCall's Wellness and Motion says, I got your back, Time Dog, and threw me that super sticker. I appreciate you, McCall. Thank you, love. And then the Gray Way. We don't shoot fades. We chase bags over here. Talk to him. Talk to him. You're going to have to talk to security. You got to talk to the people in the chat. You got to deal with Fi Brown, Mr. Lott, your car. You got to deal with Kojak. Kojak like 6'10" about this mother effer. Man, listen, bro. Before you ever get to me, you got to go through some Navy SEAL type security type dudes. You know what I'm saying? We're not out here fighting. Y'all fighting and shooting phase at 40 years old? Are people fighting and shooting phase at 40 years old? That's wild. That's wild. You know, the way that I'm trying to make sure that I ain't got to get no hip replacements and no knee replacements in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, we about women. We love beautiful women. We love money. We love trips. We love getting to the bag. We like having a good time. We like parties, good food. Ain't nobody trying to. What is wrong with y'all? Man, we too grown. We grown and sexy over here. We got on Gucci loafers and Fear of Gods and all of that stuff. Man, what is y'all so children? Children? My people crashing out over me. You better be careful. It was a guy that had walked up to say hi to me in Houston. And boy, if that dude didn't almost crash out because he walked up with the wrong energy. I said, y'all got to chill out. These are just cool people. I was like, okay, Anton. Okay. We good. Anyways, let's continue on with the show. So, I got to bring my Detroit brethren, my Detroit people back to the front of the congregation. See, I'm not biased. I love Chicago. I love Chicagoans. I'm not biased. I'll bring anybody back to the front of the congregation. Y'all emailed this to me and y'all said, Anton, y'all got to check this out. Y'all got to check this out. It is a woman that is a teacher. A woman that is a teacher that is fired because of her rap career. I'm not aware of it. So I got to see what's happening. I have not reviewed it yet, but I definitely wanted to see what the word is in the streets. Her name is Honey something. I don't know. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm before we get to the more serious stuff. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Is she in Taylor, not Detroit? Okay, I'm not sure, but we'll see what's happening.
Back in the fall, Dominique Brown earned Teacher of the Month honors, and then 2 months later she was fired, but it wasn't about anything she did in the classroom. She says a parent complained about her rap career, which was off the clock.
Why does all of the, hold on, before we get into this, how come all of the teachers of the years is always the ones that's getting fired? Had a teacher, Honey Dippin', that's her name, Honey Dippin'. The teachers of the years are always the ones that's getting fired. The ones in Florida getting fired. The dude that was touching on the chick, or the 15-year-old and setting up field trips, private field trips. He was a teacher of the year at the beginning of the year. She was a teacher of the month, a teacher of the year, just a little while ago. Let me check it out, man.
By now, Drippin' Honey's music video, Drippin' 101, has been seen by tens of thousands across numerous social media platforms. And it combines two of her...
What's her name? Honey what? I don't know.
By now, Drippin' Honey's music video, Drippin' 101, has been seen by tens of thousands across numerous social media platforms. And it combines two of her passions, rapping and some of the students she's taught. That's right, a U.S. history teacher who's moonlighting as a rapper. But last month, she was forced out of her teaching job, and it started with a parent's complaint.
That's when the first meeting was with my dean and the principal, and they were just telling me like, hey, a parent said that they seen your social media and that you're a black influence because you're a rapper.
Drippin' Honey's real name is Dominique Brown. She says that the parent continued to complain even though the educator was named Teacher of the Month. Despite asking for a complaint in writing, Dominique says she never received it. And Dominique believes that she was discriminated against.
I was like, hey, well.
Yeah, that get a little X. Hold on. No, let me.
Received it. And Dominique believes that she was discriminated against.
Yo, hold on. So for some of these jobs, let's be objective. I'm going to ask the question before I give my thoughts. For some of these jobs, do we have to maintain a level of decorum and a standard, or can we just do anything in our spare time and still be able to do the job? Because I think that some jobs you still have to have a higher standard than what it is that we set forth in society today. Let's continue.
I was like, hey, well, can we tell that parent to come in and see professionalism, see me in the classroom, see me after school, see me at all the games, see me dropping kids off every day, buying food, doing all these things. Can they come see me in my element before they try to say I'm unprofessional in it?
Was there at any point anything that was brought up that said your rap career may have, the lyrics that you use may have been a bad influence on some of the students that you had?
Well, the parents would just stay anonymous, and she didn't really give too much detail on what she did or didn't like, and the school didn't give me too much detail either. Music is part of the culture. We from Motown. This is what we do. So it's not like it's unheard of. It's the culture. And when you look like me, you just understand it a little more better, that it's not that I'm trying to deter these kids from stopping their dreams.
What is she teaching?
In a statement, a spokesperson for Taylor Preparatory High School, which is a charter school, said they're aware of Brown's allegations, but student and employee privacy rights limit what they can say. The statement went on to say, quote, "Student well-being remains at the forefront of everything we do, and we will continue fostering a distraction-free teaching and learning environment focused on student success."
If I was a horrible teacher, y'all would have dropped me the day it was a problem.
Did you ever feel that they were transparent enough for you?
Absolutely not.
If there ever was an opportunity, and Taylor said, "Hey, look, we want you back."
Listen, man, this is crazy.
Would you consider it?
No, I just want this to be an example for them to do better.
Dominique says that she's in the process of trying to seek out an attorney and take some legal action.
Let me see. Let me pull up one of her music videos. Let me see what she's talking about. Oh, I can't pull that one up. Let's see. What's her name? Drip and Honey. I'm gonna see if I can pull up one of her videos, and we're gonna see how appropriate, because that was the PG one that they showed. They showed the one with the little kids in it. You know what I'm saying?
Dripping. They know. They know she stay dripping. They know. They know. They know she stay dripping. They know. They know. They know she stay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna be objective on this one. And I don't have nothing against baby girl. I'm assuming that she's from somewhere outside of or around the city or something like that. I've never met her before in my entire life. But let me just say that I'm not really sure that this was conducive. And it made sense for you teaching little kids on this one. I'll give you an example. One of the reasons why I say that is because I'm just going through her videos and seeing if there's anything else that I can look on here and see if that I could display. I'm about to pull it up. I'm going to see if I can pull up another video and see if I can play it. Because I want to get the full context. I don't just want to make a judgment. I want to get the whole thing. Yeah, I'm going to say, nah, we got to let you go, baby. Nah, listen, I love my Detroit brethren, 48219, and all of my 7 Mile people and everything like that. But listen, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and let that lawsuit go. Okay, I'll give you an example of why this don't make sense, why my girl is doing like this. This is why it doesn't make sense. When I worked for a bank, right? And before I created what then was After Hours, which now became the Millionaire Morning Show, and then we got the other After Hours that's popping now. Before I really started giving my thoughts, I was very careful and intentional about how it was that I went about doing things, right? And what I did was, and Rita will tell you, in 2019, when I decided to retire from corporate America, before I really started focusing a lot of the energy that I had on the other channel that we wound up building together, and we created the new channel and we started having some uncandid conversations, I knew that because I was so visible and because I had already put my LinkedIn out there and I had started excelling in certain parts of corporate America, that my bag was going to be affected in corporate America if I started to say what I really wanted to say and had certain conversations and really be able to illustrate certain things. And so I knew that I didn't want to embarrass or put a black eye on my employer because they didn't sign up for that. That's not what I told them in the interview process. And that's not what I was telling them while I was creating content. They knew that my content was friendly. I was bringing my daughter to work. I was displaying my lifestyle. I was breaking down certain things. And yeah, I was displaying some of the issues and problems that I had been having throughout my life and stuff like that. And all of that, but all of that stuff was based off of what they found me off of, so it wasn't anything that they had a problem with because I used that in order to create more visibility for myself to get higher in corporate America. But once I realized that it was about to go south, that was all a part of the plan. And so I said, well, I'm not going to put a black eye on my employer. I'm not going to impact the job or distract things from going on over there. in this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just wait until I leave here and I retired. And I retired at 37 years old. And then that's when I really started to hit it on that other front. So, you know, we always think selfishly, I think a lot of times when it comes to how we feel like other people are supposed to react to us. But I just think that in certain environments that you just have to carry yourself differently. It's the reason why I won't go any further in the new position that I wound up getting at the job that I got now. It's the reason why I won't even put it on my LinkedIn. Because I know that I represent my employer, the person that is paying me an egregious amount of money, and I can't expect them to just accept my lifestyle just because I'm me. I can't expect them to do that. And so I think that in certain positions that you have to represent yourself differently. And what you do in your regular life that then becomes public is full game because it influences and impacts people a certain way. It's unprofessional. It's unprofessional. And I think that we need to have higher standards. And I wouldn't want my kid subjected to it. So as a result, you know, I just got to be objective. I have to be objective. And this is no hate towards her. I hope that she get everything that she wants in life and everything goes absolutely awesome. But I 100% agree with the school board's decision to release. I mean, it's no different than if a chick got an OF. Yeah, it's only for adults and young people aren't supposed to be getting into it. But I don't want my kid being taught by somebody that openly displays themselves because we live in a different culture and a different environment. Now we got social media. And so you got to deal with that. I know that I say some stuff on here. I can't sit here and complain if my employer was to ever say, Anton, you representing us in a bad light or whatever. So on. I got to eat that. I'm like, okay, you know what? I understand. As a matter of fact, I've been waiting for a while now to be like, man, I don't know when this thing is going to be over. I prepared myself. And I'm never going to complain. If anything happens, I'm going to be like, you know what? I deserve what I get, good or bad. Good or bad, I signed up for this, and this is what I get. And so I just think it's certain positions that you have to be above board on. Or you got to eat the consequences that come along with that. So not really my cup of tea. I hope that she does well. God bless her. I'm going to reach out to her on Instagram and see if she want to actually tell her story on After Hours or something like that. But, yeah, I don't disagree with the school board from relating. She's saying she want them to do better. Nah, man, we got to do better, and our culture is trash. Our culture is absolutely trash. Executive Suite MLE is in the building, says, Obi Toppin knew about your fit because he's from NYC. Yeah, shout out to Obi. Shout out to Obi Toppin. He knew what was up because his dad played in the Rucker. Coogee is legendary, and NYC keeps stunting on him. Fly guy. Hey, Obi told Halliburton, he said, nah, man, his sweater is sick, bro. Obi know what was up. Shout out to Obi, bro. At the game last night. Mr. Lott says City Girl mayors, City Girl attorneys, and City Girl teachers all 2024 years. We ain't got no standards no more. We ain't got no standards. I know a lot of teachers that's retiring because they like it's just all going downhill from there. AJY says they fired her because that ish was whack. That's a matter of opinion. On behalf of zip code 48219, my bad, y'all. AR Smitty says salute AD. What in the DPS? Nah, that ain't DPS. That's not the Detroit Public School System. That's not the Detroit Public School System. Ken J says, Anton, I have to say, fam, it's hypocritical of you to say that this woman should be fired when you stream during work hours, bro. Okay, let's address it. It's not in the best interest of her employer, and it'd be the same for you. She running up the bag. Guess what? It's not hypocritical. Because I'm open to the fact that I may get fired one day. I say it all the time. I'll be like, yo, I'm just waiting on them to hit me up and be like, yo, Tom, listen, at this point, I'm just putting scoreboard points on the scoreboard. I didn't already won a championship. We just padding stats right now. In corporate America, if they ever come to me and they say, Anton, what you doing is not conducive for what we got going on over here, I'm going to be like, you right. I get it. I was waiting on y'all to come and get me. I ain't hypocritical at all. I keep the same energy for myself as I do for them. And if they say, yo, we don't want you to stream during work hours anymore, or we want you to come into the office, I'm going to be like, okay, well, that's the end of my time. Thank you. God bless you. I appreciate you guys for being so considerate of what I've been able to accomplish over these last few years. And thank you for that good bonus. And thank you for the stock options. Thank you for everything else. Listen, like I said, same energy, which is why Anton won't tell you where I work. Facts. We padding stats right now. We LeBron James. This is extra. This is extra. Yo, listen, it is what it is. It is what it is. If they ever say this don't make sense. No, Tia said Anton is not on here rapping and trapping. Listen, no. I'm cool with it because I say stuff. I hold people accountable when it comes to relationships. I be cussing on after hours and stuff. If they say, listen, this ain't good for our brand, I'm going to be like, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Thank you guys for letting me get this bag for as long as I have because I never anticipated being here longer than a year based off of the package that y'all originally gave me. I thought this is just all extra. Thank you. So listen, I got the same energy across the board. I ain't special. Marky Deals LLC, thank you for holding me down, big dog. I appreciate you. David Williams is in the building, says, Candace Owens is on the Breakfast Club today. After hours review. They don't be liking you to use the stuff, but I might do it. I'll consider it. If I can get away with it, if I can get their permission to use it, they be really sticklers with it, but I'll see what I can do. I don't like the Breakfast Club. I like Candace Owens, but I don't like the Breakfast Club. So, P. Shank in the building says, good morning, Mr. Anton Daniels in the Millionaire Morning Show. Thank you, P. Shank. I appreciate you. Jacquel says, we at war with culture, education, and economics. I agree. 100%. 100%. Brittany B is in the building, says, Baby Curl could have easily rapped about history. I literally wrote the same rhymes my 9th grade year about the Odyssey. Fire. She could have gotten another bag on YouTube. And 42819. Beat is nice. 46819. Shout out to that. Shout out to Brittany. I appreciate you, big dog, for holding me down. Thank you, baby girl. All right, y'all want to continue on with the show? Now that we brought Detroit to the front of the congregation, let's bring New York to the front of the congregation. Overtime is exploding for police officers. And again, this comes back down to the bag. Overtime is exploding for police officers while residents is complaining about the quality of life over in New York. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get to it, y'all.
The NYPD's overtime budget is soaring. It is up 50%. The department says that's because of frequent protests in New York City surrounding the conflict in Gaza. And it also is paying more to patrol the subways with the recent surge of high-profile crimes. The top brass today faced tough questions from members of the city council. Here's Eyewitness News reporter N.J. Burkett.
You get what you pay for. NYPD Commander Edward Caban insisted today that the results speak for themselves. Shooting incidents are down 16%, and murder has dropped 18.8%, while burglary has been reduced by 12.7%, and overall crime is down 1.6% citywide. But in a hearing before the City Council, NYPD commanders admitted that costs are soaring. Police deployments in the subway system and details for demonstrations have blown the NYPD's overtime budget by more than $100 million, on course for an increase of 50% over their own projections. Council Speaker Adrian Adams was firm.
The continued spending and significant excess of the budget on overtime only intensifies concerns about the department's management of its budget and workforce.
Department officials revealed today that officers have policed nearly 2,000 demonstrations since October 7th, and that overtime costs for the ongoing subway deployments are costing the department more than $2.5 million a week in overtime alone. Transit Chief Michael Kemper defended the deployments while admitting to Public Safety Chair Yusef Salaam that more outreach would make New Yorkers safer.
If you're asking me my honest, personal, under oath opinion, more effort needs to be spent on the topic of mental health, particularly in the subway system, yes.
The hearing was interrupted multiple times by anti-police protesters, and several council members questioned the administration's priorities. Public Advocate Jomani Williams suggested the department's getting special treatment among city agencies.
But some reason, the NYPD is the only one that has access to the type of overtime that they claim they need.
Police commanders are defending their budget projections tonight, insisting that they can only anticipate so much. The department's chief of patrol told the council today that demonstrations this summer are destined to heat up.
Listen, if you want to get rich, go over and become a police officer in New York. If you want to get rich, go over there and become a police officer in New York. Now, nobody is addressing the protesters. Nobody is addressing the migrant crisis. No, see, isn't it funny within the culture that people want to have a conversation about how we proactively prevent issues and problems from arriving in the first place, except for when it comes to solving for crime and issues? But every single time it comes to policing, it then becomes an issue. Well, then stop creating crime and stop embracing this culture and stop protesting and stop robbing people and stop having migrants come over and turning your city into a sanctuary city. And then we won't need as much overtime. But every single day I get videos and I get emails and I get DMs about people that's saying that, yo, another shooting happened on the subway and people don't feel safe and they got to bring out the National Guard. Meanwhile, they cut 5% from the budget because they didn't have enough officers in the first place. Part of the reason why you have to spend more on overtime, which then costs you a whole lot more per police officer, is because you don't have a sufficient amount of staffing in the first place. When they have to cut budgets from sanitation, education, hiring police officers that are already woefully understaffed, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Okay, so you complaining about, let's put it in perspective, y'all. They complaining about what's happening over in Pittsburgh, and they saying, man, I can't believe that the people are reducing staffing so that they meet the budgetary restrictions that we set for them, and that they're allocating police officers depending on what times are requiring the most of them, and they giving a blue light system, and they shutting down particular precincts at certain times because they don't want police officers just sitting there. You can't have it both ways. Either you want to defund the police or you want to keep your community safe and do it the right way. And if you want to do it the right way, then that means you got to work with the police, not against them. Because the one thing that I don't believe that you should ever cut a budget for is safety. One thing that I don't believe that you should ever cut a budget for is safety. Under no circumstances will I ever prioritize anything else above my safety or the safety of my family and the safety of the people that surround me. Under no circumstances. You need to figure it out. Cut the budget when it comes to the migrant crisis. Y'all spending way more money on the migrant crisis than y'all spending on police officers. Before we start talking about and having whole hearings, look at New York. Look at how foolish these protesters and these activists are as far as sitting in front of these council members and all of these house committees and stuff, and they sit there and they protest against. Ain't this the same thing that we was dealing with the summer of before last as far as defunding the police? And now y'all sitting there complaining about what's happening over New York, Oakland, San Francisco, San Diego, Seattle, Chicago, Houston, Spring Breakers, Milwaukee. Which way you want it? Either you want more police in order to make sure that you stay safe, and then you want to work with the police as far as making sure the judicial system don't allow for these people to just get out with no bail or no consequences. Either we want more police and then you want to get rid of the Safety Act over in Chicago because you don't want more criminals just feeling comfortable about the fact that they're not going to get no bail anyway. We seen what happened in New York even with the migrants. The migrants went over there and they was over there beating people up in Times Square and stabbing people and hitting police officers in the head and kicking them, and then they walked out free. The next day, the next morning, they was walking out free. Ain't nobody even know who these migrants are. They walked out free, and they released them out onto the street. And then they just went out and did some more stuff again. Which one you want? Which one you want? If you want to reduce the amount of overtime, then A, hire more officers. B, stop reducing the original budget. C, start funding the things that actually is meaningful for the community instead of a migrant crisis and all of this other foolishness. And then D, participate in proactively reducing the need for police in the first place by making sure that we get our cultural norms together. It's simple. I don't want to hear no more unless y'all okay with making sure you catching public transportation and anybody can get on there and do anything to you. Which way you want it. Either you want it to be defunded or you don't. And people feel comfortable protesting over in New York. Cool. Now the police officers is going to get rich. When we start pulling up how much police officers is making in New York by the end of the year, and it started looking like 250,000, 300,000, 400,000, y'all start seeing police officers in New York driving Ferraris, I'm not going to complain one bit. I'm going to be like, hey, them people is keeping y'all safe. When the police officers pull up in that Lambo, don't complain. Not even one little bit. Not even a little bit. Meanwhile, over in New York, all of the residents are saying that they're having problems and they don't like the quality of life.
New survey is asking, how do you feel about life in New York City? And the answers aren't so great. CBS News' Christina Fan reports on the findings.
In the first quality of life survey taken of the city post-pandemic by the Citizens Budget Commission, the results are looking pretty bleak, with New Yorkers feeling less positive, not very safe, and unsatisfied with most city services. The nonprofit interviewed more than 6,600 households and found only 30% of New Yorkers rate quality of life as excellent or good, and 1/3 rated as poor. Our own conversations with families on the street mirrored the same.
People are going crazy, and it's worse. It's getting worse.
Before, nobody steal nothing in the street.
Well, the streets are not as clean. Yeah.
Look, right after that, the news didn't go out there and say, hey, the streets ain't safe. People stealing. They breaking into stuff. Okay, do you want police officers or you don't? Do you want to change the laws? You want to actually help them? You want to call and get the people that's doing all of this stuff arrested? You want to reduce the migrant crisis? The people are saying that the quality of life is bad because crime is rampant everywhere, but then we got people protesting about making sure that they get the police off the streets. Which one y'all want?
It's really, really messy.
According to the survey, just 37% of New Yorkers felt safe in their neighborhoods, down from 50% in 2017. 24% believe the quality of government services is good or excellent,
I'm familiar with it,
down
Hotel.
from 44% in 2017. And only 11% feel the government is spending tax dollars wisely, compared to 21% 6 years ago. In response to the dismal results, the Adams administration says it's important to keep context in mind.
We're seeing this across the country after COVID. A lot of cities are having problems rebounding back and having people say that they're up to the same quality of life.
Results vary depending on race, neighborhood, and income, with white people, residents of Manhattan, and those with higher salaries more likely to report satisfaction. The survey also found the focus of Mayor Adams' administration does align with New Yorkers' priorities, including public safety, housing, and clean streets, but that a great deal of progress still needs to be made.
All those things that New Yorkers believe that are important, the report says that we are on the right track. The goal is to continue on that right track.
Communities reporting the lowest satisfaction with quality of life include Jackson Heights in Queens and Kingsbridge in the Bronx. Those with the
I knew they was going to say the Bronx. It's always the Bronx.
Satisfaction include the West Village, Cobble Hill, and right here in downtown Brooklyn.
You can't have it both ways. Y'all got to pick a struggle. You got to pick. And you know what the worst part about New York is that they got some of the highest taxes in the entire country. Overtaxed, overcrowded. One protest every single day. I don't even know why nobody got a car in New York. Hey, at this point, because I used to really be obsessed with it. Maybe it was because Wu-Tang Clan. Maybe it was because of all of the protests, and maybe it was because of the old movies and the gangster movies and stuff like that. But man, I used to really New York at one point in my life, when I was in my early 20s, New York, and I mean early 20s, New York was at the very top of my list of places that I needed to live in. Before I got married, that is. Before I got married, New York was at the very top of my list of the places that I wanted to live, at least for a 2-year span. Boy, did that change. Boy, did that change. Nope. You go over to New York. Yo, if you walk around New York in the daytime and you don't see a rat, and I ain't talking about the ones that's walking on 2s. I'm talking about the ones that's walking on 4s. If you don't see a rat in New York, and I ain't even talking about, you ain't got to go to the Bronx. Bro, you could just be walking down the street. Walking down the street. Just a big old rat. Ain't nobody chilling. Ain't nobody concerned. Yo, is that a possum? Nah, that's a rat, big dog. Is that a raccoon? Nah, that's that new rat. They got these new rats over in New York. It's different over here, bro. What do you mean? What kind of new rats? These rats, these rats are super rats. They just take the cheese right off the trap. They take the trap and the cheese at the same time. And then they throw all of the trash out on the ground. It's crazy. Yo, to think that Tokyo has more people and a larger footprint, but it's 10 times cleaner, and they don't even have trash cans on the street, is insane to me. Man, if y'all ever been to Tokyo, you would think like they can't have as many people here. People are polite. They walk down the street. Police officers don't even be having guns on them. They just be having the little batons, and they be speaking to people. They have the little satellite offices on the street. People having a good time. They got tourists everywhere walking. Ain't no trash cans nowhere. People just take their trash with them. It's a completely different culture. To think that Tokyo is the New York of Japan, but then they have 10 times better results is crazy. Because it's funny because I went to Tokyo right after I went to New York, and the differences was just vast. It was so different. It was just vast. And it was a great experience, and I had a great time, and the people was nice, and we stayed in a phenomenal hotel, and we walked around, and we felt safe. There wasn't no rats nowhere, and it's just different. It was just absolutely different. I can't figure it out. Maybe it's just the culture. Shout out to Master Splinter over there in New York. Let me read some of these super chats, get these buzzed down, because I want to acknowledge the people. Thank y'all. Listen, a rat in New York is like a roach in Texas. A rat in New York is like a roach in Texas. Keep on talking about these as water bugs. Now, that's a roach. That's a roach, and it's flying. And where did it grow wings? And why do y'all have wings on y'all roaches? Who did this to your roaches? It's the same thing when you look at a rat over in New York. Like, damn, that's a super rat. That's where they got the Ninja Turtles from. It's inspired by New York. That's why they lived in the sewers and they grew to be super rats. That's all the Ninja Turtles. Master Splinter. Shredder. Anyways, Critical Smoker. What a name. What a name. Says, I hope 550 listens and she get on Spotify. Adds up. Shout out to the Critical Smoker. I appreciate you for supporting the platform. Will the CNA is in the building. Says, I don't rock with the Breakfast Club, but I'm going to go support my boo later. Love you, Candy. Shout out to Candace Owens. Zach is in the building. Says, have you seen the video of the illegals calling to take over people's houses with the use of squatting laws? You got to send it to me. Email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. Hotep Drellius said, Candace Owens, yep, we familiar. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Rob Price says they're going to try to hire illegals as cops. It's on after that. Thanks. Silent Sniper says New York got rats that eat rats. Have y'all ever seen an alligator eat another alligator or a snake eat another snake? It happens. It happens, and they continuing to grow. Anyways, I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Tiege Hanley, 30% off your order plus a free gift. Let's continue. Let's get into it. Oakland. Oakland. What up, Oakland? What's going on over in Oakland? I heard that Oakland is dealing with an abandoned car issue that exceeds over 14,000 cars within a few months span. I said, what? What? Shout out to my dog, E. Fonzarelli, Yuck Mouth, Filthy Rich. I said, Oakland, it can't be this bad. All of the businesses is leaving. All of the people is unsafe. And y'all dealing with an abandoned car issue. It can't be this bad. Is it that bad? Let's see. Let's see what the people talking about. Make sure I hit a like for the algorithm.
Oakland city leaders are taking action to fight a major quality of life problem, talking about abandoned cars dumped on the city streets. Yesterday, the city council passed a measure to hire a team of 15 new employees to sweep Oakland and clear out all these dumped vehicles. The city will use vacant Caltrans lots beneath freeway overpasses to store those abandoned cars.
Wait. They're going to use what to store the abandoned cars?
Vacant Caltrans lots beneath freeway overpasses to store those abandoned cars.
A report obtained exclusively by the ABC 7 News I-team shows just how bad the problem is and which neighborhoods are being impacted the most.
ABC 7 News I-team reporter Stephanie Sierra went to see for herself, and she's here with us to show us what she found. Stephanie?
Yes, Dan and Amma, we did a ride-along through East Oakland, and within minutes we saw dozens of abandoned cars that were reportedly stolen weeks or many months ago, but they just sit there. And as we found out, certain areas are being targeted for these so-called dump sites.
You're not going to believe what you're going to see, but we'll take you there.
Is that Oakland? Listen, I know that, what's the food critic's name? Keith Lee. Keith Lee went over to Oakland and he said, nah, we cutting this trip short. Have y'all been hiding how bad Oakland has been? I mean, we've heard for a long time that Oakland has been hit. But have y'all been hiding Oakland from us and trying to act like Oakland is just cool? And we over there and we looking to see what's happening in Oakland and y'all acting like nothing is no big deal. Y'all keep saying, hey, man, look at the Golden State Warriors. They winning championships. The car is on its side, turned into a home. Is that what I'm looking at? They put a door and some drywall and some wood on the bottom, painted the wood, and turned it into a home? That can't be what I'm looking at. Is that a car or a truck turned on its side and then turned into a home? That can't be it. Can't be it. Impossible. No way, no how. That's what it looks like. They put a door on that joint. Shit. Who turned the car over? It's just tires on top of fencing? Okay. All right. Hey, listen, I don't know. I'm looking at the video like y'all are.
Problem that's both hidden
Put your camera down.
and glaring at the same time,
Now, to your right, that just happened.
causing neighborhood chaos
You approached him, but they shoot you first.
on one street at a time.
This is unbelievable. See?
Stolen cars are being dumped all over Oakland.
Right here, this one.
You see them everywhere.
See that?
In residential streets,
Right in the red zone.
business districts,
That was just abandoned.
even on the train tracks.
Stolen, abandoned.
There's so many, the city is leasing space just to have somewhere to put them.
See the guy towing them in? Dumping them here?
Huge lots like this one. This is where they're taken. That's been at capacity with more than 2,000 inside.
You see in the further back, they're stacked on top of each other.
Some get picked up, some don't.
We witnessed all of this during a ride-along with Councilmember Noel Gallo, his staffer Preston Turner, and our security guard. Within 15 minutes,
So look on the corner.
Turner pointed out at least 25 abandoned cars within a 2-mile radius. After 30 minutes, that turned into
What you think?
At least 50.
At least.
roughly 50 abandoned cars.
See that?
Gallo says the problem has tripled on the streets this year. Why?
What I heard yesterday, we don't have space to locate them.
The city's storage lots for abandoned cars are packed, and expensive.
We do not own the lot. We're renting the lot.
Wait. So you telling me, let's not call them abandoned cars. These is what we call stolies. These are what we call stolies. These are not abandoned cars. They're not abandoned. These are stolies. They take them, they steal them, and a lot of people say, well, no, we got new technology on it, and we not tripping about it, and you can't just take my car. And, you know, some of y'all say, well, I got the club on my car. I got the club on my car. And they take the car, and then they jump into it, and they break the window, and then they throw it in the neutral, and then they get another car, and it pulls up behind them, and they push them around the corner until the tow truck can then come in and hook it up, and then they take the car, they strip it, and then they go and dump the car somewhere else after they get all of the parts off of it that they're able to sell. That's what it is. It's a racket. Oakland has become a hotbed for stolen vehicles, which is one of the reasons why the insurance companies are now abandoning even cars over in Oakland, California, and California in general. It's not just the homes that they abandon, and they abandoning the cars too. They're not insuring the cars. A stolie is a stolen vehicle. I just described it. I just broke it down for you. They're not getting in the car and hot wiring it anymore. They ain't doing none of that. They just getting into it, pushing it around the corner, hooking it up, go it, take it somewhere, strip it, get all of the parts from it, make a bunch of money from it, 100% profit, dump it off in Oakland, and then leave it for the city to have to deal with. And then the city got to charge the taxpayers because then you got to use tax dollars in order to rent it. And so it just becomes this one big cycle where the people that do it legally and the people that go to work every day, they wind up being the ones that pay for the criminals to continue to do what they do. That's how the middle class really get robbed, is that your taxes ultimately go to supporting criminals and criminal behavior. So the only people that really benefit is the police officers and the people that make all of the overtime that continue to try to make sure that they solve for the problem, and politicians. That's the cycle. You pay for the politicians to fix the problems that's happening in your community, but they don't really fix the problem because they never get to the core root of the issue. Then you protest against the police. The police can't catch nobody. The criminals know that they feel more comfortable doing crime. They go out and they steal, rob, and kill until they make it a food desert, until they make it a stolie situation, until they make it the worst situation in the worst community ever. And then they get mad and they say, hey, man, you're not fixing our communities. Where's all of the resources to help us? And at night, they over there stealing cars. So then they become the problem that they complaining about is happening within the community, and then they tell you that it's systemic. And that's the word. That's the key. That's the key word. That's what I should have named the show today. Because eventually we're going to get to van life, and I want to show y'all what van life is really like. But then they call it systemic. They steal, kill, destroy in their own neighborhoods, and then the taxpayers have to foot the bill for it. California taxes is higher than it's ever been in history. A budget deficit at the same time. Cars is everywhere. Homelessness is rampant. And then they tell you that it's systemic. It's the it's a system that's keeping them down. So then people that ever, may get any little bit of money, if you ever get some money or you ever come up, the first thing you're doing, you're getting the heck up out of there. You're getting the heck up out of there. And then they say the system is only built for rich people because they want to make sure that their kids go to better schools. Man, I'm not putting my tax dollars towards you. I don't know you, man.
And expensive.
We do not own the lot. We're renting the lot.
Gallo says the city is paying close to $1 million each year for lots like these used to store abandoned cars. These cars stored here or in places Gallo calls illegal dump sites.
That's an illegal dump site. You're not supposed to be charging people to dump your trash and then they haul it.
Gallo says these are operations where people strip stolen cars, then sell the parts
Told
to
you.
nearby auto shops. Then what's left gets dumped.
See all these cars here? They haul them in here, they strip them. See, they're stripping the tires. See them right there?
And you know that the thing about it is that, again, we all know where the chop shops is. It's not auto shops. They're chop shops. Everybody know where the chop shop is. Everybody know who the people that's stealing. Everybody know that OG Bobby Johnson and his son is over there jumping over the wall, getting his back shot out. We all know that gangs then proliferate in these cultures because now they fighting over territory and who can do what and who can sell drugs and who can steal cars and who can rob and who could exploit the businesses. We all know where it's happening. We know what's going on. We know what shops is dirty. We know who the side mechanics are. We know who ain't got no licenses. We know everything. The police know. The citizens know. The black people know. The Hispanics know. The Mexicans know. The white people know. We all know. But don't snitch. Even though you're a civilian that's suffering, you better not snitch.
He says some are run by known gang members.
See? Yo, I own everything. God's honest truth. I have not seen this video. God's honest truth, I have not seen this video. I'm breaking it down for you, and then they start talking about it right after I break it down to you.
Put your camera down.
Why doesn't the cop pull up, find out that it's stolen, and arrest the guys that are stripping the car?
Because the cops is going to get sued by the criminals.
The challenge.
Why don't they do that?
Not a priority. They will deal with violent crime.
Some of the cars have citations waiting to be towed, while most are just sitting there and look, well, not pretty.
Missing a tire. Yeah. It's abandoned.
Collecting dust for 3 weeks, 1 month, 4 months. Who knows how long?
A new report from Oakland's Department of Transportation
Shout out to
shows
Gavin
more than
Newsom.
13,800 abandoned cars reported just within a 6-month time period last year. To put that in perspective, our analysis during that same time frame found Oakland has more abandoned cars than San Jose and San Francisco, cities with roughly double the population size.
And we ask for help, and they say, well, our procedure in Oakland, no pursuit. You're on your own. Exact word.
And guess who? Guess who set that procedure up? You. Defund the police. I can't believe, listen, if you see, go and watch any of these videos where it's criminal pursuits, where they go after the criminals, and then go and look into the comments. And all of these cupcakes is in the comments saying, I can't believe that they're endangering the people and the public, and they're endangering people just because they stole a car. It's no way that the criminal should be endangered and they chasing a criminal and getting him in trouble and possibly putting the criminal's life on the line. The police need to stop the pursuit whenever it's not a violent crime. And then the police say, okay, cool. Well, if it's not a violent crime, then we're not going to pursue it or we're not going to get into a situation. And then the people start complaining and say, well, why ain't the police arresting them? Pick a struggle. Pick a struggle. Which one you want? Either you want the police to do their jobs and you're going to enable them, or you want the police to go ahead and just let the criminals get away because it's not a violent crime. Pick a struggle. Which one you want? This is what happens when you have a democracy that's then flooded and populated by people that are cupcakes.
The abandoned cars are not only an eyesore, but a hassle.
Some park in front of the gate, can't even leave all the time.
All right, you see him?
Or blocking access to this elementary school.
They had these abandoned cars on the sidewalk,
which left teachers without parking.
It's just not fair. We report them, they clean it up, they're back like ants.
Residents like Bernadette Burton are fed up.
17th and Jackson. Every month we have a stolen car there, and it sits there for the whole month. Yeah, the whole block reports it. There's nothing they can do.
They just say no?
OPD no longer will respond to reports of abandoned vehicles unless it's parked in front of your driveway and you can't get into your house. If not, the Oakland Department of Transportation is authorized to respond. But as you can see, that can take a while. Residents have to wait for it to be reported, cited, and then in some cases, get stuck with the tow bill.
It happened to my assistant in my office. She had to pay like close to $500. Why? If you
Taxpayers are the ones that's going to foot the bill, buddy.
Steal my car, do I have to pay?
A valid question, right? Why should you have to pay for someone else's crime? That's a question that's being discussed by city officials now. In the meantime, the city is partnering with Caltrans to access additional lots for storage, as well as hiring 15 parking control technicians who will respond to reports of stolen and abandoned cars. We're told
Hey, you got it right, Connie. Bernadette, I bet, voted for liberals. Amazing amount of cognitive dissonance with You got it right. And we still have people that sit here. Y'all not gonna be satisfied until we 100% officially are living in Haiti. But, who am I? They always gonna say, Anton, you're so disconnected and you're just a conservative. Rod Jones says, AD, make sure that you're referencing NYC 5 boroughs. I'm upstate between Buff and Q's. Everything else is correct. Would never live there. Yeah, but you still got to pay these crazy taxes, though. You're still paying crazy taxes. Pookie's friend Ray Ray says, I thought a Stoli was a stolen Rolex. Nah, you riding in the Stoli. You ain't never heard of that before? Maybe it's just a Detroit thing. Wealth Building Journey says, Anton, they not Stolis. They're just unowned. Biz Q says, if you ever visit Cali, visit a Republican city, there are several beautiful. You're asking to be robbed if you stay in a Democrat city. Interesting. Thank you, Biz Q, and thank you to everybody that continues to support the platform. But people are divided right now before we get into van life. There's a lot of division amongst the people about what's happening within the migrant crisis. Considering that we're funding it, we're leaving our borders open, it's now become a Supreme Court issue, and things are absolutely spiraling out of control in a lot of these liberal places that actually voted and supported it, or at the very least voted and supported the people that stand for the migrant crisis. Take a look. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. The first video that we're going to review with this is a small town that's actually at a crossroads of what it is that they do with the migrants because they're not necessarily against it.
In major cities across America, officials say they've reached a breaking point, struggling to handle the record number of arriving migrants. But here in small-town Fremont, Nebraska, where there are just 39 workers for every 100 job openings, some are encouraging even more legal migrants to come.
We need these people. We need this work done. This is what feeds the nation and the world.
Many of the openings are at this $500 million chicken plant, opened in 2019. Young locals often move away, leaving those slaughterhouse jobs to migrants, like Vicente Hernandez. With Hispanic migrants, although it is hard, although it is heavy, they endure, he says. The difference with an American citizen is that every time he finds a job, when he sees it is hard, he leaves it, he says.
Let's stop there and let's have an uncomfortable conversation. Woo-wee! This is going to really, really bother some people. I can already tell. I could tell. This is going to bother some people. 38 people for every, 100 jobs? Y'all don't want to do this work. Y'all too good for that. Remember? Y'all too good for it. Look, in the Patreon, in the Bag Chasers, a couple years ago, I had this thing that we were doing all together, and I was putting up all of the money, and I had funded it. And I had started with $100,000, right? And we were doing this series called Build Your Business, where I was breaking down every single thing that you needed in order to get into a business. And then I was taking my students, the chasers, through a process where they basically were the ones that were building the business, and we was having difficult conversations and debates and all of this other type of stuff, right? And we got all the way to the point to where we started looking at locations. We were looking at cities, locations. One time we had settled on Tampa, but then somebody had already took that location. We had settled on a type of business, and then we had started to refine it. But one of the biggest things, yep, Sabrina, you did find a winning location. One of the biggest things that I was very much concerned about, and I lost a lot of sleep because I was like, man, if I'm going to sink 6 figures into a business in order to show the Bag Chasers and the Patreon members what it takes in order to build a brick and mortar location, I got to understand whether or not we even going to be able to hire enough people that want to work or do things the right way. Because one of my biggest Achilles heels as a person that is invested in several different restaurants as a minority owner and as a person that has built my own brick and mortar businesses is it is hard to find good people. Let me say it again. It is hard, and I mean incredibly hard, to find good people. So I put it on hold indefinitely because I said, you know what? We can better allocate resources and we can better, you know what I'm saying, utilize our time to actually build something to where I can give you the blueprint of how it is that you don't have to be interdependent on people in order to survive. Because as a business owner, I believe that the hardest thing, it ain't the permits, it's not the money, it's not none of that stuff. The most difficult thing as a business owner, as a person that owns a brick and mortar business, large business, small business, mom and pop spot, whatever, is to find people that want to work. I can't tell you how many times, and I'm not even going to be specific. I'm going to be very, very vague because I don't want to put no businesses or no spaces in a bad space, that I see workers rotate in and out. And then we come in and we say, well, what happened to this person? Oh, they fell asleep on the job. Oh, they was smoking. They smelled like trees when they came in. They late every single day. And then eventually we just got to, they got to go ahead and they got to get a staffing company, and they just got to go ahead and rotate them in and out, It ain't got nothing to do with the pay. Ain't got nothing to do with the hours. Ain't got nothing to do with being overworked. A lot of the times the jobs be easy. They just can't get there on time. Or they smoke their way and they come in, they smelling like trees and their eyes is bloodshot red. Or they forget and they fall asleep on the job and all of this stuff. And Americans, to a larger extent, even though I am against illegal immigration into this country because I believe that we got to do everything in order, Americans, to a larger extent, have become lazy. They don't have the grind, the work ethic. And a lot of people will look at me and they say, well, Anton, you know what I'm saying? I want to get to where you at, or you just privileged. No, I just work harder than you. People sit there and they complain about me having a day job, even though I have a business and I have this business and I got that business and I'm a content creator. And they say, Anton, nah, you work too hard. That's how I know I'm always going to be rich. It's nothing that you can do. Listen, it doesn't matter what happened in society. I know that I am always going to be rich because I know that you're too lazy to ever be able to compete with me. Over a period of time, I'm going to break you down. Over a period of time, I'm going to break you down. This is a town where we sit there and we complain about jobs. And then just the other day, earlier this week, y'all said we going to boycott Tyson Foods. For what? I don't agree with the boycott. I'm not boycotting nothing. Y'all ain't boycotting nothing anyway because y'all too lazy. I'm not boycotting nothing. For what? You don't want the job? Like you going to be out there picking vegetables. You going out to the farms and you going to pick some vegetables? Man, shut up. You ain't picking no vegetables. You ain't going to the grocery store and bagging no groceries. You ain't going to the slaughterhouses and cutting the food. You don't even want to know how the food is made. You just want to eat. Nom, 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 nom. That's all you want to do? Come on, man. Listen, if we going to have this conversation, then let's have a conversation in truth. You don't even want to know how the food is made. If they show you a Netflix documentary, you're going to be like, I don't want to see it. Cover my face up. We're the big piece of chicken. That chicken got so many antibiotics and hormones and HGH in it. That chicken looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, man, I didn't even know they made chickens this big. It ain't that big normally. It ain't that big normally. You got a big stomach. Ooh, give me the big piece of chicken. Give me the chicken that look like a chicken. Give me the chicken with 8 toes on it. I like a chicken with extra toes on it. Nom, 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 nom. You don't even think about it. I be looking at that chicken like, man, that chicken, how's it boneless and it's big at the same time? How did they pull the bones out of it? Y'all eat boneless wings? What chicken you know that ain't got bones in it? That don't even make sense to me. So the wing is the same size, it just ain't got no bones in it. Where the bones go? It's a migrant worker that was over there doing his job, chopping it up to chicken, whatever it is that he do. We don't want to know about it. We don't want to know how the vegetables is picked. We don't want to know where the cotton come from. We don't want to know how the chicken is made. We don't want to know how many pigs they raise. We just want our alligator belts from Hermes. We want our food from the plant. And we want our DoorDash delivered. That's a fact. I don't care. Listen, the reason that they don't want to give me my money and they don't want to put me on national TV is because I'm going to have an uncomfortable conversation and I'm just going to tell the truth. Don't nobody want to work. Don't nobody want to work. Y'all want to get paid. Y'all don't want to work. Y'all are trying to figure out every single day about how you can get out of a job. I can't tell you how many people sit and send me emails every day and say, Anton, how can I retire early? I'll be like, how old are you? 23. What? Delete. I just deleted right on out of my inbox. I'm telling you, I just deleted.
Hernandez and his wife are also pastors to the growing Guatemalan community. Once this town of 27,000 was nearly all white. Now 1 out of 6 are Latino. Since 2018, the school district added almost 800 non-English speaking students.
Meatpacking is the biggest industry here in Fremont. The state's Chamber of Commerce says Nebraska needs to welcome more migrants to fill jobs like these. But some residents here are resistant to that change.
Voters backed a town ordinance twice, which says locals must tell the city that they are here legally before they can rent housing. The city cannot always verify the information, but people say the law remains on the books to send a message. Councilman Paul Van Buren supports it.
Why was it brought up?
Citizens had asked the city council to do something because it was pretty obvious that we were become a haven for illegals.
He argues slaughterhouses paying low wages to migrants lowers incomes for citizens and criticizes increased costs for migrant children at local schools.
But then y'all don't want to have lower food costs. Y'all want y'all can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. Either you want to increase the cost of food and logistics to pay the drivers more money because the truck drivers got to get paid. The migrants or whoever it is that want these jobs want to get paid. Supervisors want to get paid. Everybody want to get paid. But then you want us to drive the cost of food down. How do you think that that's going to happen? Do you think, listen, cars cost too much. You didn't see them protesting last year with the UAW asking for $50 an hour minimum and to convert all of the temporary workers over into the regular workers? You don't see Sean Fain on TV every other day talking about we need to take more from the billionaire class. What do you think is going to happen? They got to pass the cost on to you. Every pickup truck is costing like $90,000, $100,000 a year now. What do you think is going to happen? The value of money is going down. People getting lazier, asking for more money that do even have the jobs. You don't want the migrants to go over there and make the food, but then you want them to pay the American workers more money. The American workers don't want to show up. They pay more money or they go out of business, and then people complain about the cost of gas and the food that's in the grocery store. Which one you want, big dog? Decide how you want to play it. Either you want everybody to have a livable wage, and Bernie Sanders is asking y'all for 4-day work weeks, and then you want to pay more money, or you want it to be cheaper and you want to let these migrants come in and get to the bag. Which one you want? You want Nina Maria and the Santa Maria over there making your chicken, or you want to go and pay a wage and you want to pay $15 for eggs? Pick one, buddy. Pick one, buddy, because you can't have it both ways.
The sheer pressure of bringing in numbers of people has resulted in a considerable burden to the taxpayers.
But City Councilman Mark Jensen, who's lived in the area since he was 10 years old, is against that ordinance.
It's a bad look for our city.
And he says Fremont needs to embrace change.
Immigration is crucial. A lot of people that live and grew up here don't stay. They move out.
Shout out to Anonymous. I'm going to break it down to you. Listen, the one thing that we're going to do over here on the Millionaire Morning Show is we're going to have uncomfortable conversations. The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to break it down for y'all to actually be able to make informed decisions. My job is not to tell you how to vote. My job is not to tell you how to invest your money. My job is not to get you to look at migrant crises and politics and immigration policy and how it is that these presidents and these people are doing whatever it is that they're doing. I'm not sitting here telling you what to do. My job is to break it down all the way to a C student's perspective so that you can understand exactly what you're doing, and then you can pick between the two. You got to be able to pick a struggle. You're going to struggle on one side or the other, but you got to be able to pick one of the two. I'm here to give you the information and break it down in a consumable format so that you can't say that you don't know. That's what I do. You got to think for yourself. I'm going to break it down. You got to think for yourself, though.
At the church, Vicente tells us he regularly gets about 3 hours of sleep a night. But still, he and his wife Maria say they found their new hometown. Now I live the American dream, as they call it. I'm happy because I have everything, she tells us.
State officials say they often have problems with undocumented workers using fake IDs. Just this month, 4 migrants were charged with using them to get slaughterhouse jobs. Lester?
Thanks for watching.
So, y'all got to pick a struggle. That's what it basically comes back down to. You got to pick a struggle. They sleep in 3 hours. If they had the education and opportunities like you, they would work you out of a job, boy. But again, you don't want them to have these low-wage jobs, but then you want to try to figure out where your farm and your chicken is coming from. Pick a struggle. Y'all don't like that conversation, do y'all? That bothered you, didn't it? To have that dose of reality to be thrown on top of you, on top of all of the propaganda that's given to you on a daily basis because we want to look at it objectively on both sides, that bothered you, didn't it? That absolutely just tore your soul out. And you was like, damn, I ain't really thinking about it like that. I talk about the gas prices and the cost of housing and food and why is it costing so much? We want to protest without any understanding. It bothers you, didn't it? Because now you got to look at it on both sides. Yeah. Jonathan Anderson says they going to be finding people unalived in their cars. Talking about over there in Oakland. It's crazy. Shout out to Phi Brown. I see you, big dog. Karma and Kerosene. Heck of a name out here in these streets. Says, Anton, look into the Cloward Piven strategy. Send it to me in my email. If y'all don't send it to me in an email, I'm going to forget it. I'm going to just tell you right now because I got so many things that I'm looking at all day long and a bunch of different perspectives. I got a lot of things on my radar. Easy Money says, finding good people is the hardest thing to find. It's crazy. No one wants to work. We always had multiple streams of income. I still got multiple streams of income. I'm going to get it how I live. Latrell says, they say it's the system, but the system is your thought process. You're your own. It could not be any more well summarized than that, Latrell. You are 100%. Is your own. Your thought process is your own oppressor. 100%. And Fa said it. When people advocate for McDonald's workers to make $25 an hour, I got a video that I'm going to show y'all tomorrow about that. We're going to get into it. I'm prepared. Trust me, I'm prepared. All right, so considering that everybody is going poor, except for the bag chasers, if you're not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. If you're not a part of the bag chasers, link is in the description. Stop acting like you don't hear me telling you. If you get in the stock club inside of the bag chasers, start in the beginning of the year, January. We only like 6 episodes in the stock club. Don't tell me that you don't know. Don't sit here and keep telling me, Anton, I don't know how to invest. I'm teaching you. Breaking it down from a C student's perspective. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to all of the new chasers. Since everybody is going poor, and most of us is going to be homeless, and we all going to be living in micro boxes and tiny homes and out here on the streets and in homeless shelters with the migrants, I thought I'd give y'all an opportunity to see it from a different perspective and give y'all different perspectives as far as being unhoused. What is unhoused? Unhoused is exactly what it is you don't have a house to lay your head and to be comfortable in, and somebody may drive off with your car or drive off with your house because it's on wheels. Meals on wheels, right? And so I found what I thought was to be an objective content creator that was going to break down what it's like to really live van life. But before we get into that, let me give you a summary of what the biggest and best trend is, and it hasn't been going away for years, but it's absolutely positively a trend that's happening out here in the streets. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. This is first the problem.
Naturally. They call themselves van lifers, people who live in their vehicles on the street. Some residents who live by the beach say they become a big problem. ABC 10 News anchor Aaron Dickens spoke to residents who want them to go and the van lifers who say they're not leaving.
And I've been speaking to a guy who's been traveling across the country in this van, and he's been sleeping here in Ocean Beach for the last week. He says
Look at that van, y'all. Look at that van. That's your bedroom. That's your sex room. That's your place where you poop at when you wake up at night. It's all of that. This is your new home.
He feels comfortable and sleeps through the night.
Well, I fully converted the inside. I did the top. I put a new transmission in it, changed out the brake system.
Shout out to the Econoline van life livers.
Brandon Andrade is a van lifer.
Fully organized, and this thing is full of stuff underneath it.
He repairs professional baseball nets by day, and by night he sleeps in this parking lot in OB.
Almost $1,000 a day that I work, so good for you. Yeah, I really just kind of work to make money to where I can travel and experience life, live my best life outside of work.
There are many like Andrade living by the beach. Some say too many.
Nobody wants to have people sleeping around their homes. We buy into a neighborhood. We expect there to be law enforcement. We expect there to be security.
Glenn Volk says when it comes to the vans, it's a free-for-all.
Hey, look. You wake up in the morning. You look outside of your window and you look across the parking lot where the school is located across from your home. And it's a dude getting outside of the car with his Adidas shorts on. He got the rapist van out there. And he ain't even no rapist. He just living van life. He ain't got no shirt on. He got no shoes on. He got his Adidas shorts on. He ain't got no shirt on, but he van life. It's van life. This is the life. No shower, no toothbrush, no running water, no nothing. We got to go find us a local Walmart, go take a dump in, wash our hands, hopefully brush your teeth. This is life, y'all. Welcome to America.
He says he encountered a family living in their car near his home.
The driver of the car, the man, got out and urinated on the street behind his front door without any consideration for the neighborhood that he was in.
Volk and a group of residents who live by several beaches have emailed the city council. They want new legislation that would significantly increase enforcement and signs that say vans cannot park near their homes overnight.
I get there's a homeless problem and I get there's a housing shortage, but you've got people who have chosen to live in their vehicles. You've got summer coming up. As word gets out, the problem we have now is going to get much, much worse.
Some want the mayor to step up enforcement,
People are going to be people, and people are going to do what they're going to do. Politicians are going to do what they do. And they can't stop me.
Aaron Dickens.
You can't stop me. I'ma do what I'ma do when I'ma do it. You can't stop me. People going to be people. Politicians going to be politicians. And this is what it is. So I decided to go over and I seen this in my algorithm. I said, this would be a good video to be able to review, right? And this is from, let me give them some credit. Let's Turn It Up World is the channel. They have 99,000 subscribers. If y'all decide to go over to the channel, to make sure you let them know where you found them. It's called Let's Turn It Up World, where a black woman and it looks like a white man. And we don't discriminate over here. We think that you should be with whoever it is that you need to be with. Shout out to Marcella. I'm going to read that super chat shortly. Shout out to all of the new Pag Chasers and the new Patreon members. Make sure y'all tap in. His link is in the description. And it's a woman and they have almost 100,000 subscribers and they basically breaking down what it's like and the harsh realities they sell y'all, and y'all look at these videos and it looks like, oh my God, wanderlust, the nomad lifestyle. And they're going to give you a realistic look of what it's like to live van life. And so I wanted to play this video for you guys. Again, shout out to them. Shout out to all of the content creators. I always want to show love to the content creators. And this is what they had to say.
We have heard recently many RVers say they are quitting RV life, many who have been living full-time in their RV for years. Now, there are many reasons RVers are quitting RV life. And of course, many of these reasons can be pretty personal. Today, we're going to explore 7 of the biggest reasons RVers quit RV life, including some of the most important RV realities you need to know before you begin your own RV living adventure. Let's get into it.
It was amazing.
Oh my God, yeah? Who is knocking like that?
I have no idea.
Go check that out.
Yes, can I help you?
Oh, just a friendly reminder to hit that subscribe button. By Chris. I think we should address one of the biggest issues right off the bat, and that's constant maintenance and lack of parts. We can't tell you how many times we've heard from fellow RVers, including ourselves, that hard to get parts, hard to get service because 1, they don't have enough mechanics, or 2, the warranty parts have been delayed. It just feels so constant. And this RV life is supposed to be about being out there and enjoying the aspects of the RV life, not in a mechanic shop, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And plus, it's your home. If you're full-time RVing, this is your home. And so you have to bring it into the shop to get repaired. You have to deal with finding a place to live. Is it an Airbnb? You get to a hotel room or something. That's costly and expensive. And it's true. I mean, this is your home on wheels, and there's always something wrong.
Oh, yeah.
We've never actually had everything working in our RV, whether it's like the water pump, the heaters, and then of course, more recently, we had the collision we had to deal with, and getting the parts and repair is part of that.
Yeah, and being prepared is hard because you don't know when the actual time frame will be. They might tell you one time frame, but then there might be an extension of a delay.
So first issue is your Meals on Wheels home is in constant maintenance. You got to be a mechanic. In order to be living van life, you got to be a mechanic. Now, their RV is beautiful. Their RV is beautiful. They live in a bigger van life, and they still complaining like, listen, man, you basically got to be a mechanic. You got to be willing to stay in the Airbnb when your home ain't working. Your Meals on Wheels has got to be on and functional 100% of the time. It's the heater, it's the pump, it's all of this stuff. In order to live van life, you have to be a mechanic. Let me go over to the next thing.
Living can be a cost-effective alternative, say, to traditional housing. It's not necessarily cheap, y'all.
No, that's very true. It really depends on what your RV lifestyle is like. Right? If you do a lot of boondocking, stay put, don't do a lot of driving around the country, so you keep your costs down that way, that could be quite cheap.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's like, how minimalistic do you want to go in this lifestyle? Like, or if you like to travel and enjoy the different sites and different, places like we do, it's not necessarily cheap. Things can add up quickly.
Well, exactly. And then many folks want to stay in fancy RV resorts, so things like that. If you expect to be cheap, you'll have their RV resort fees, right? You'll have all the gas prices, like you said, going across the country.
Way up. Gas prices right now have gone way up.
Right. Plus unexpected repairs, things like that. That can add up quickly.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back to the gas prices. We just noticed a sticker shock just recently, just driving into Utah. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. Just even regular gas was close to $5 a gallon. I mean,
So, staying warm overnight and living this nomad life where you just gonna get an RV, sell my home, and travel is expensive. It's expensive. Okay, so you got to be a mechanic, and it's expensive. Okay, cool. Let's see if we can find another reason.
It can be a big adjustment for everyone. And it's not just folks living in a van like ourselves, but also folks living in Class A's. They're coming from a big house, right, into a Class A. You have to make decisions on what you bring in, what do you sell, what do you move into storage, and that's not easy.
No, because sometimes you might think you have what you need right now, but then, 2 months later, you're like, darn it, why don't I have this? I'm going to need this. Where am I going to find the space for it?
Exactly.
So it really...
And a lot of these women, you can't get your makeup room. No. Listen, you living in a van now. No more butterfly eyelashes. No more crazy makeup. If you want to go on a date and he got to pick you up from your house, from your van, and he drop you back off at your van, and it ain't no more inviting people over because you got a limited amount of space. Yeah, no makeup. No makeup. You don't like that, do you? Ooh, you gonna have a bad attitude. Got to keep going out with no makeup on? No powder room? No, you roughing it. You roughing it now. It's different. See, y'all, a lot of y'all don't realize all of the modern amenities and the lifestyle that you live in. Some of the modern amenities and the lifestyle that you live in, you blessed, you fortunate. We'll get there on streets. We'll get there on streets. Hold on, let me see. What else we got? What's the next issue? No kids either. No kids can live there.
Next up, lack of stability. For many, RV living means constantly moving around, and that can lead to a lack of stability and often a sense of rootlessness, right?
No, I think that's right. I think when folks start RV living, you're thinking, oh, we're gonna travel
excited.
and travel
Let's
and
go.
travel, right? But you're constantly moving. Unless you get, say, long-term monthlies or something like that, you might be constantly on the road every 14 days or less, trying to find a new place to stay. You're leaving like new-made friends you may never see again, those types of things. It can be a tough situation.
It really can. And to top it off, when you are shifting to that next spot, sometimes inevitable things can happen where that spot may be closed. Something may have happened. Now you're stuck trying to find a different spot. So there's always something that can happen when you're trying to find that next spot. And it's definitely has an unstable feeling at times when you're doing that.
Absolutely.
So you basically operating like a homeless man. That's what I hear. I hear you basically trying to find a new place to stay. Every single opportunity that you can, you trying to figure out where it is that you can lay your head at night and hoping that you don't get your van towed. Okay, cool. Let's continue.
Oh boy. Social isolation. We meet so many great people while on the road and traveling and staying at RV parks. And it's like, I get so connected to a lot. It's like when the time goes and everybody's packing up or you see them packing up, you're going your separate ways. Now you might have exchanged numbers and say you're going to keep in touch with one another, but you're still off traveling and doing your thing. So how often does that really happen? It makes me sad.
Right. No, I think that's a reality of RV living, that kind of that transient nature when folks are constantly on the move. You meet folks, great people like Tanya said, but then they're gone the next day, and that lack of a kind of a stable social network can really feel kind of isolating in a way sometimes.
This is a big one, y'all. Health and safety concerns. RV living can definitely present health and safety challenges, from exposure to extreme weather conditions on the road to risks of accidents on the road. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And we, of course, do a lot of four-season RV living, right?
Yeah.
We're actually in winter conditions. So for us, we need to pay very close attention to the weather, what's coming on in the weather. Are we going to be up in the mountains and things like that? And that's very true for anyone really RV living.
Speaking to that, where's your primary medical physician? Where's your primary care facility while you're on the road? That's a big deal.
No, it's a very big deal. When we had a home base, right, you kind of knew what doctor you'd call, who you'd go to right away if you got sick or something to get checked out. You kind of had the local hospital, or the local clinic you went to. But now when you're on the road, right, if something happens, you have to look up, okay, where's the nearest medical clinic? What are the reviews like? Is there a doctor to call? Things like that. We find ourselves going to a lot of different medical clinics and maybe like an emergency room visit or things like that at a local hospital, which we never really did before.
Burnout.
That's crazy. Listen. All of this sounds very tiresome. They're going to say burnout. What's the next one? Lack of privacy. Let's go to that one.
All the time. And that is lack of privacy. While it's really wonderful to have your family, your pets, everything really close with you, it's one thing to have them close with you all the time. I mean, there is just zero lack of privacy. Sometimes you need that moment to just decompress. Well, you just can't get that. And that's not just here, but it's also them neighbors. The neighbors at times, it's wonderful, but a lot of times they are all up in the business. All up in the business, right?
Yeah, no, it's very true. So if you can hear, like, if folks are arguing next door, you can hear those arguments, right?
And sometimes
everybody's listening in.
They are. Sometimes you can hear them fart. I'm just saying, it is that close.
And if they forget to pull up the shades, might get a flash or something. Unexpected.
I mean, you get
a wardrobe malfunction.
A little booty up in the face is not the place.
Right. right? And sometimes, you might need a little space no matter how great your relationship is, right? But in here, it's like my space is here, your space is back there, which is like 10 feet away.
Right? And that's not even far enough sometimes. Because you just, you love each other to death, no matter what.
That's right.
I mean, I put up with them feet, and let me tell you.
She puts up with those feet.
I'm just saying.
Give me a kid.
Now, this can be tough for a lot of people, especially if you equipped with basic amenities, but they often lack the comforts and conveniences of traditional homes. When you're in an RV, things are small. You get used to them, but after living with them for a long period of time, those small things can feel even smaller, right?
No, that's very true. And for us as
Is she talking about his never mind, let me be quiet.
Example, but we don't have an oven, and so Tanya's got to be super creative.
Heck no. Listen, man, I ain't got time for that. Ain't nobody about to be cooking in the wintertime Listen, they make it seem more glamorous than it really is, and I know a lot of y'all keep looking at these van life videos and all of this stuff, and I found the one that was supposed to be really, really cool, and oh my God, they're just giving you the realistic idea of what's happening out in these streets. But listen, man, you're going to have to make a decision that's best for you. If you can put up with being a mechanic and taking a shower at Walmart and brushing your teeth in Target every night and not having anywhere to poop or poot or I can't do this. I can't. Going outside to piss every night. No. We're not doing this. I can't do it. I'm not built for it. I'm not in this camp. I understand that it's a lot of people that is interested in it. Quentin said it's not bad for a weekend. Yeah, it is. I did it. I traveled in an RV for, I don't even remember how long that was, 3 or 4 days one time. We decided to do something different with the family, and this is when I was really, really young. I think I was still in high school. I said, I am never, ever in my life stepping foot on the RV unless I'm in a touring van. Unless I'm touring and I'm going city to city making some money or something like that, that's the only time that you ever going to get me inside of a touring van. I'm never, ever doing an RV life again. That junk is a headache. It is a headache. LS says that time of the month as a woman would be vicious. Nope. I'm not doing it. I'm not bougie. I just know who I am. And I didn't ask for a big home. I'm not asking for a whole lot, but what I am saying is that I need my space to stretch out. I need my space to stretch out. Like, listen, van life is for y'all. Van life ain't for me. Anyways, let's continue on. Let me read some of these super chats and I'm going to get y'all out here for the day. The fun show. Ken J says, think about the whole ideology behind van life. I know I can't do any better financially, so let me reduce my life down to almost nothing. They say most people that can afford to not be in van life, once they go into it, they hurry up and get out of it. And they say, hey, that was a great experience. I'm going to keep it moving. Marcella O says, just join the Chasers. I do not want to be caught slipping. I need all of the game you're willing to share. Thank you. Shout out to Marcella O. Hey, Chasers, can we get a round of applause to my girl Marcella O? Shout out to the babies. Shout out to all of my new Chasers that's here today. Chris Bryan says parking garages will be the new trailer parks. Mr. Lot says, imagine calling off work to take your house to the mechanic or to get an oil change in your bedroom. I'm just not doing it, bro. I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I agree, Barbie Nail Dreams. It's homelessness. Call it what it is. It's homelessness. And imagine getting your home stolen. Not by a squatter, by a tow truck or something. I'm not doing it. I'm not built for it. Listen, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all to everybody that tapped in for the Millionaire Morning Show today. Fun show. We like to mix it up a little bit in order to entertain y'all and keep y'all aware of what's happening out here in these streets, man. Thank y'all for holding me down. I appreciate y'all. We going to do after hours tonight. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but we going to do after hours tonight. All right? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for continuing to rock with me. I know y'all going to hit a like for the algorithm on the way out the door. I know for all of the casual watchers, you're going to wind up subscribing so you can get the notifications of when we going live. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here, though. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. He said no Dame slander tonight, AD. Shout out to Chris Monroe from St. Louis in the building. In the building with the super chat. Chris, I appreciate you. Chris says, thanks for the value you bring daily, Anton. Hey, let me just say this before I get out of here. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you. Let me say this before I get out of here. How do y'all live stream without being on camera? I see people and they be doing whole live streams and it just be an avatar up there. And I'm like, do people actually watch y'all live stream with nobody on camera? That's just lazy in my opinion. That's nothing but being lazy. People that jump on a live stream and they not on camera and they just be talking into a microphone or talking into a computer and ain't nobody got to see them, that's lazy to me. I'm going to just call out the content creators that's out here being lazy. Lazy. You lazy. You a lazy content creator. Come on, man. Put some work into your stuff. People be on there off camera talking to, man, get off my live stream. I refuse as a content creator myself, and I love watching other content creators, especially those that aren't really big or discovered yet. I refuse to listen to or watch a content creator that is off camera. I refuse. That's just my own personal preference, though. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace. Shout out to Executive Suite MLE. Let me acknowledge this super chat really quickly. I'm sorry, y'all. Give me a second. Executive Suite says, there is a migrant with 500,000 followers showing migrants how to squat in America. Oh, my God. All right. Send that to me. Email that to me at antondaniels413@gmail.com.